Hi, it's Maureen, also known as Happy Stampin' Mom. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from the U.S., and I live in the state of New Jersey, and this is November's Stamp Around the World video hop. Our theme this month is a bag and a tag, and I chose to use the a little bit festive specialty designer series paper, and I'm going to show you how to make a bag and a tag. But before we jump in, I want to make sure you know to check the description below for links to videos from other demonstrators from around the world to see more bags and tags. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the bag and tag that we'll be making. The Little Bit Festive Designer Series paper package comes with 3 different 12 by 12 sheets. This is one of them. It's two-sided, so you can see it has trees on one side, and then these red, I almost want to call them like bulbs or something, I'm not sure, but that's what's on the other side of it. This one is blue with lots of different lines, and on the other side of it, there is like a gingham, blue and white gingham. And then it also has this sheet here, which is probably my favorite, which looks like a Christmas tree. And then on the other side of it, it has red and white stripes, which makes me think of peppermint. So lots of fun. Also included in this set, or in this paper pack, is some punch outs. So there are 3 different sheets of punch outs, and you can see you just punch them out and you can add them to your project. And I'm going to be adding them to my tag. So that's the second one. And then the third one actually has what I guess you could call tags, or something that you could probably punch out and put on a scrapbook page and stamp on it, or even make a part of a card. Okay, so we'll be using some of these things. So the bag that I'm going to be sharing with you is one that I am casing from Michelle Litwiller. She is also a demonstrator, and she made this bag, and I thought it was really cute. So this is my rendition of her bag. You start with 12 by 12 designer series paper, and you do want to have, like, if your paper is directional, then you want to have it so that it's top down. So like this would be the top of my bag, and this would be the bottom of my bag. So I wouldn't want my bag to be upside down like this. So you want to have your paper in the direction that you want it to be, with top being here and bottom being down here. The first thing we're going to do is score our paper. So we have 12 by 12 paper. I'm going to get a scoring tool. This is my Simply Scored. What is this? A Simply Scored thing. I guess that's what it's called, Simply Scored. But anyway, we are going to be scoring at 3 3/4. So I'm going to go to 3 3/4 and score all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to go to 5 3/4 and score all the way to the bottom. I'm going to score it at 9 1/2 and then 11 1/2. Next, I'm going to just take my paper and rotate it to the left, just like this. And I am going to score it at, I'm scoring it at 1 1/2. And then I'm going to score it again at 10. Just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it back this way, move my Simply Scoring tool away. And okay, so next what we're going to do is we are going to start folding our edges. We're going to fold the top down. So when I have my bag, this is going to be the top part. Now I'm going to turn the whole paper over, and I'm going to fold the bottom going up. Can you see? Yes, you can. I'm going to fold the bottom going up just like that. Okay. Next, I'm going to find that small scored section, that 10 1/2 or 11 1/2 inch section, which is way down the bottom here, and I'm going to score that first. And actually, when I am not scoring, I'm folding. When I fold it, I should use a bone folder. So get your bone folder, and you do want to crease all those edges. So I'm going to crease that one, crease this one, and now I'm going to open it up, and then I'm just going to fold and crease all of my edges, because we need it all to be nice and sharp or crisp. And here's my next one. Just going to fold it over. And then you should have 2 more. I am just finding all those crease lines. I'm just going to flip it over just because it'll be easier to fold this last one if I do it this way. And crease that. Okay. Now I'm going to find the bottom section, and you can find the bottom section, yeah, because you know what's the top, what is the top, and you know what is the bottom. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to start cutting from the bottom here. So on the right side, that's where you have your 1/2 inch piece right here. So this is where we're going to start with our clipping. So I'm going to get my scissors, and you have this little section down here. You can see it's scored there, and it's scored there. And we're going to just cut that all the way off. So I'm going to cut up to my score line, and then cut across. Okay, and then take that off. All right, so now we have this. Next, we're going to move it over here, and again, we're going to cut up on the score line up to that first score line and stop. And I'm going to move over, find my next score line, and cut up to the first score line and stop. Then I'm going to slide over, and I have one more. And I'm going to cut up to the score line and stop. Okay, so now we have all these little flaps here. So the next thing that I want to do is I am going to cut off just a little slither of each side of some of my flaps. I'm going to do that so that when I'm folding it, it makes it more of a neat fold. So I'm going to just kind of make a little bit of a triangle up to there and cut that off. And then you can see how that looks. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Cut up to that fold line. Again, you can see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to move over to this last flap over here and do the same thing. I'm going to cut out just a slither of a triangle there. There is a word for this. I can't remember the word, but there's a word for when you do cut these little edges off. Oh, I just heard it not long ago, and yeah, I don't remember. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of these little pieces, and we are going to move into more fun. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to glue my top flap down. So I'm going to go back up to the top. So opposite of down here. I'm not going to bother with that at the moment. I am going to be folding this down like this, but what I'm going to do is put some glue on there first. So I'm just going to be using my Tombow Mono Liquid Glue and just put it there all the way across. And then I'm going to fold that down and just hold it. And I see some of my glue is sticking. Came right out on my mat here. That's okay. I will clean that when I am done. I say that as I'm looking around for wipes. It's crazy. Where are my baby wipes? Because I feel like I need to clean it right now. Oh, all right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna use a tissue. I can't just not do it. Sorry, I tried. All right, so now that that is folded over, the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to, oh, I'm losing my place. So we glued our flap down, and we're gonna turn the whole piece of paper over. You can see I have some glue there. So we're gonna take our flap here, this flap here, I'm gonna fold that down. And what I'm going to do here is put a little bit of glue on this. So I'm actually going to fold over this section like this. So you want to get to your second score line. So there's the first score line, there's your second one, fold it over like this. And then you're going to put some glue on this skinny 1/2 inch flap down to the bottom. Don't put too much glue because it will spread over just like it did for me. Once you have this folded down, you can fold this piece over. So you'll have a scored line here and a second one here. You want to take it from your farthest scored line, fold it over, and you want to make sure you get your edges nice and matched up, and then you can secure it and hold it in place. I love this glue. One thing that you do have to do with it is you do have to hold it in place. And you hold it in place because it will move on you if you don't. Okay. All right, so now we have the makings of a box. I'm going to open this part up, and get all of that together so you can see how our box is coming together. So the next thing we're going to do is close the bottom. So the way we do that is I'm going to hold it up this way. I'm going to push these flaps in. I'm going to grab some more of my glue. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here and a little bit there. And then I am going to fold one side down, then put some more glue over here and fold that down. You want to get your edges nice and straight. And that's one of the great things about this glue. Since it does move, you have a little bit of time to work it out and make sure it is where you want it to be. Then I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to grab my bone folder and go in there and just kind of push down to make sure it is attaching. Okay, and once I've done that a little bit, then I'm going to take a punch. This is my Humble Home punch. I haven't even taken it out of the packaging yet, but I'm just going to stick that in there. And what that will do is we'll weight it down, and I'm going to push that off to the side. And what we're going to do next is get ready to create our tag. So for our tag, I am using the Merry Tags and More dies, and this is something that you can purchase if you have a subscription to Paper Pumpkin, then you are able to purchase this. If you do not have a subscription to Paper Pumpkin, then you'll have to find a different kind of tag. And I already went ahead and punched out. Let me show you what they look like. So there's this tag, and then there's like, I guess, a leaf, and then this says Merry. So I punched out a tag, which is here. I did punch out the leaf in garden green, and then I have the Merry in some glimmer paper. So use whatever you have. This is a retired color. There is cherry cobbler is a current color. So if you have cherry cobbler glimmer paper, you could use that. If you have any glimmer paper that works, I would suggest using it. We're also going to be using this sheer linen thread, not linen, but this silver and white sheer ribbon. It's 1/2 inches thick. So we'll be using that. Along with that, we'll be using the red, the Real Red Baker's Twine. This is in the mini catalog. This is in the annual catalog. And I punched out from a punch that I have, a 1.5 inch punch. This is Granny Apple Green. So we have a Granny Apple Green circle. And then I have a strip because I'm going to stamp Merry on there. And the Merry will come from the Reindeer Fun stamp set. So I'm actually going to stamp out Merry Christmas, and I'm going to just use the Christmas part. Okay, because we're making a tag that looks a lot like this, but we will be selecting some other punch outs from the Little Bit Festive Designer Series pack. So you'll see that in a moment. But to get started, the first thing that I did is I'm going to stamp the Merry Christmas on here. I'll be stamping that in garden green. So let's do that. And you could, if you wanted to only stamp Christmas, you could put a piece of tape on here before you ink it up. And then once you ink it up, take the tape off of the Merry and then stamp just Christmas. But I'm just going to stamp the whole thing Merry Christmas like that. And then I am going to cut away the parts that I don't need. And it's just as easy to do that. So I don't want the Merry, so I'm going to cut that off. I do want Christmas. Okay, let's move these pieces out of the way. And I want my Christmas to be just a little bit smaller. So we are going to do this and this. All right, so our bag is getting sealed over there. We'll come back to that, and we're going to work on our tag. So for the tag, I don't have all of the answers. I'm not sure what I am doing yet. I thought I would do that right on the fly with you. So let me pull back over these, and you can see. I'm going to bring the bottom piece so I don't lose what I'm doing under it. So there's a lot to choose from. There's some poinsettia, there's some trees, there's some ornaments and some drums, a truck, pine cones are there, and pine cones are there. And I think I want to pick something from this one. Let's see if I can get it off. Okay. So on this one, the thing that was appealing to me, is these presents right here. So I am going to punch them out, and I'm realizing that there are more of them than I want. So I am going to just cut away those other ones. So I'm just going to use this. I am also going to punch out this gingerbread Christmas tree. So we'll use that. Okay. So this circle, I love mounting things on circles. If you look at cards that I've made, I usually have a circle. But I'm going to put this in here just because I want to add more color. My tag is white, and I want to just balance out the color here a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this here. I'm just want to lay it down to make sure it's how I want it to look. So Christmas will go down at the bottom. I'm going to put our Merry right above it like this. And it is going to cover up some of my S, and I'm just going to be okay with that. I am going to use dimensionals and let this stick off the top here. Oh, wait, one more thing. We want to put our gingerbread cookie in here. Our gingerbread Christmas tree cookie will go there, and that will look like that. So that's what we're going to put together. This is going to go on the bag, so we're just going to move that to the side. So let's start assembling. I think I'm going to start with my circle first. Make sure I have the right placement. So I want it at the top. I'm going to put a little bit of glue there and hold that so it doesn't slide away. I'm going to get my gingerbread tree, put a little bit of glue on there. Don't really need a lot. And lay that down like that. Okay, next we're going to add Christmas on. So I'm going to put a little bit here and stick that at the very bottom, just like that. And then for Christmas, I am going to put it in a few different places. So I'm going to try and just put a few dots in places here. Just like that. It does stick on you. Okay. Now, let's see if I can turn this over without crushing it. All right. And then I want to lay it down about right there. And like I said, I know it's going to cover up the S, and that is going to be fine for me. All right, so we have that. It is coming together. Next, I'm going to grab some dimensionals. I'm going to flip over my presents, and I want to put some dimensionals down towards the bottom and in the center. I'm not going to put them at the very top because that part may stick off of my tag. So we just have them here, pushing them down. I'm going to take these backings off. And it is going to sit just like that. So now we have our presents. Is that how I want it to be? Yeah, it's on there. It's done. All right, so the presents are on there. There's a nice little cookie. It's just a lot of colors. I love the colors. And I'm going to add some of the cherry cobbler and pearl adhesive backed berries. I think I'm going to take a trio. Let me get a little bit of that off there. Okay, so I'm going to push this trio and put it right here. Just like that. Alrighty. So it is coming together. So now we're going to go back to our bag, and we are going to do the last steps here. Get this all situated here. Let me just move some things out of the way. So I'm going to take the punch out of the bag. And this bag is a nice size where you could put, so, I have this gingerbread tree cookie here. I could put some cookies in here. I could put any kind of candy. I could put a scarf in there. I could put a pair of socks in there. A lot of things could fit in there. This actually measures, let's see, so it is 3 3/4 wide by 8.5 inches tall. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hold this here and hold the ends with our thumb and our tall finger. And then you're going to take your pointer finger and push in here, and you will just push it together just like that. And then what we're going to do is take this white and silver sheer ribbon, and we are going to wrap it around. It's nice if you have, well, we're going to wrap it around, and then we're going to tie it. So I'm going to put a bow, but before I put a bow, I often put knots. And the reason I put knots is then it will stay in place. So I'm like pushing it against my body here. Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay, and we're going to come back to it to make our bow in a moment. Before we do that, I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this, and I'm going to stick it right in here just to give a little bit more decoration. And I could have cut out more of these, so I could have had 2 on there, but I did not. And I'm now just thinking that that would have been a good idea, and I may add another one in later. But for now, we are going to do this with 1. So I'm going to just stick this right in here, right under the ribbon, and hold it down for a moment. And when you give this as a gift, the person can slide the ribbon right off, and if they want to put it back on, they can. And actually, I can slide it off and then figure out what I'm going to put in here and then put that back on. All right, so that is there. I'm going to grab my tag and my twine and put my twine through there. And I have not really measured it, but let's see. So I have about this much is what I'm doing. I'm going to cut it there. So let's see, if I were to measure this, that is like 5 3/4. So that's going to be 10, 11.5 inches maybe. And I'm going to cut here. And like I said, I do like to make knots first. So I am going to tie this all the way down and then tie it again to make a knot. So now I have a knot there. Going to bring it over to my bag and slide one right under there. Whoops, it's sticking to me. All right, and now that it's under there, I am going to tie it. I do want it to hang a little because I want to make sure that this piece back here is seen. So I'm going to, again, tie another little knot so that there's some space. You'll see. I'm going to tie it to about there and then tie it again to get to the knot. Then I'm going to make a bow because I love bows. And then that way it'll hang like that. And now I am going to tie this into a bow. I'm going to do it upside down since this side is shorter and this side is longer. Wrap it around, push it through. Try to make it nice and neat. Come on, bow. There we go. So my bows seem to come out better when I do them upside down. I don't know about you, but that's something you can try. I'm just going to make it nice and pretty here with my edges for that one and that one. Alrighty, and then this is my finished bag and tag, and it looks just like that. So I really love this A Little Bit Festive Specialty Designer Series paper kit because of all these options. You can use these for scrapbook pages. You can use these for cards, for tags. You can make lots of tags with these. So this is my final project here. I have this one and this one. These are the two that I made. And then one that I made a while ago. This is where my first original one. This is the one that I copied from Michelle Litwiller. It's pretty much the same. She did use this ribbon. I didn't have that ribbon when I made mine, but I love the bag. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope that you will grab your 12 by 12 paper and make some bags. It's a great way to use your Christmas DSP paper, or even you could use, make some bags for birthdays. Use some birthday paper and put some birthday embellishments on there, and then you will be good to go. So thank you so much for watching me. Remember to check that description to see what the other ladies came up with for their bags and their tags. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Hit the thumbs up to like it, my video, and the bell icon to get notified when I release more videos. And I can't wait to see you next month. Do share this video with a friend who likes to craft as much as you do. And I will see you next month with a whole new theme. Thanks for watching. From me to you. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.